Are 1943 steel cents and 1944 bronze cents worth a bunch of money like you see on Google ads and you see online? Well, stay tuned because you're going to find out. Before we get started, here's my website, portsmouthcoinshop.com. And if you get a chance, you can come over to my website and check out what we have to offer. Here's the Mint Era book I highly recommend. And there's a lot of other coins over here to check out. Also, we have a free Coin Help You community. If you need help with your coins, you can come over here, post an image, introduce yourself, and we'll help you out best we can. It's every day that I get a phone call and someone says they have a 1944 Lincoln cent and they saw online that it was worth a bunch of money. Now, I don't know what video they're watching or they're not paying attention to, or what website they're looking at. I'm sure they're looking at Google ads, and we've talked about that in several videos. You can't look for values by asking Google. Now, if you do, you'll get wrong values. Let's put it that way. What you want is a price guide or look at sold auctions. And we're going to do that in this video. But right off the bat, I want to let everyone know that a 1943 Lincoln cent, steel cent, and a 1944 bronze Lincoln cent are really common coins. The U.S. Mint minted millions. And you have the no mint mark, which is the Philadelphia Mint. Then you have the D and you have the S. But we're going to cover those. We're going to talk about which ones are worth money because some of them are extremely valuable and some of them are the most valuable Lincoln cents in existence. So let's take a look. Now here is one of my albums, and I have all three of each one. Now you've got the Philadelphia, the Denver, as well as the San Francisco, and you can see I have some really nice looking coins here. I get these albums all the time. Oh, and by the way, these are all been repurposed, which is replated. Someone replated every one of these. You can tell by how shiny they are. Steel cents don't look like this, straight from the mint. And you can buy graded ones and see that. But anyways, you have these really nice coins, and you can see I'll sell these for, a few cents a piece, $1, maybe a couple dollars max. Just depends on what grade I think they are. And like I said, I get this stuff all the time. Here's another example. And you'll see a lot of these clean, but here's a 44. And I wouldn't, if they were extremely valuable, as certain sites claim or ads claim on Etsy or Google ads or eBay, I wouldn't have them in this album sitting here. I mean, I would most certainly have them in a graded holder. I'd send them off. But I'm just trying to show you, some of you who don't know this, that the realistic values here, what they actually look like, what they're worth. Now here's some that are fairly original. The one right here is. So you can see that one is an original. This one is cleaned. It's very important to note that. Now these will stick to a magnet, but you gotta make sure they're authentic too. There's a lot of fakes out there, and here's a 44. So I wanted to show you my rarest of rare coins don't sit in albums like this. I mean, they come out of that album fast, and they either go to PCGS or NGC, or they're sold. I wanted to show you that just to kind of prove a point that I am 100% genuine in telling you that a 1943 steel and 1944 bronze are very common. And I want to prove even more here. And I always tell people, I highly recommend that you watch my videos, to come over to Heritage sold auctions, eBay sold auctions. Look at the BINs, the buy it now auctions. They're a little more realistic. Sometimes the bids are a little bit low and are all over the place. But people that are buying it now, very important. Here you have the 1943 struck on basically a 25-cent planchet from a foreign planchet. You have one struck on a dime planchet. It's very important to see the grade as well. I mean, all this information you're seeing right here is too important to ignore it. You can't just look at 43 cent and then see this value and think, oh, I've got something. That's not how it works. The devil is in the details, and you have to make sure you're paying attention to the grade, the grading company, and all the information about this coin and how much it weighs and all that. If you think you have a 43 on a copper planchet, then you need to send it and have it authenticated. There's a lot of fakes out there. Trust me when I tell you, you can buy fakes. But those are what's valuable, is the, Philadelphia, the D and the S. 1943 struck on an off planchet. Mainly, you want it to really be on a copper planchet, but there's other planchets that are worth money, as you can see here. They're silver planchets. The bronze planchets are the ones that will make you almost an instant millionaire, just depending on which one. And you can come over to PCGS Price Guide, and you can see that. You can see how much each one's worth. In Mint State 63 in 1943, bronze went for $1 million. 43D, 1.1. Basically. I mean, you can see how much they're worth, which ones you need to look for. Same thing with the 1944. The 44 is normal. This one's a 68 red, so it's obviously worth $11,400. That's the reason why that sold for that much. You can't ignore this information right here, that tidbit of information. And if someone grades one 67, let's say, it's still not going to be worth half this. That's not how it works. 68 is a registry quality coin, and it really jumps it in value. It has nothing to do with the value behind it. The grade behind it, let's put it that way. And you can come up to the price guides and prove that. So here we have the 1944, and we come over here to 68, and it's $13,000. But if you get one in 67, it's only worth $200 because the population is very high on the 67s. It's not too high to where the value's not there, but this 200 might be a little inflated. It just depends on how many they graded lately. It's the same thing with the 43s. When you look at the values of the 43s, at the graded values, and you want a condition rarity is what they call that. A condition rarity is a coin that is worth a lot of money in a certain grade, a high grade, a registry quality grade. I know for a fact that there were several rolls sent off. I bought about 80 of them, graded 67 and 66. I think some of them graded 65. I don't know how many 68s they received, but I know they received enough 67s that this probably should be about 150 retail. And gray sheet needs to be adjusted. But the point of it is that stuff like this is coming out all the time, bulk submissions and things like that. And this is what it's worth. I mean, it's going to have to be graded to have these values. Sure, you might be able to get $1 out of one that looks really nice, maybe $5, but that's basically what they're worth. That's what you're looking at. And when I'm telling you about the prices, I know a lot of people do this, 1944, penny value. And when they type that in, they're going to see all kinds of stuff. Now here, it says 15 cents, and it's something borrowed website, I think it is. So I don't see any ads here, except when I'll get down to here. It says only known T, mint mark, $14,000, 1944 penny, no mint, $2,250, 44 wheat, $25,000. This is where they're getting these values from, and it doesn't matter what site it is. These are ads that should not exist like this because someone is trying to sell it for a huge amount of money. And I see that all the time, and I understand why people are getting this confused. But that's why I did this video. So everyone knows exactly what these are worth. And you can also basically go over to a site like Etsy. And like I said, Etsy's not a bad website. The sellers on there aren't bad. They're just some bad people on there, yes. But that goes for any site online. So 1944, I guess my problem with Etsy is that their ads are more prevalent on Google than any of them. And I'm an AdSense person, and I know you can control that. You can actually control what ads unless you just let Google automatically do it. But you can actually control it. So let's type in 1944 still cent, and you can see what comes up. A lot of these are just, it's unbelievable, the prices. You have to be careful because there's going to be some fakes that were created. There's steel that'll stick to magnets. You can also type in 43 copper and get the same thing, but you really have to watch this. These are not the true values of these coins. The true value of these coins is, especially if you don't have, let's say you have an ungraded coin, then eBay is the best. I know everybody says that, well, it's not the only, you're right. It's not the only place to look for values of things. This is just one tool, but you want to make sure that you're using it appropriately so that you can figure out how much something's worth. So I come over here and I'll click the sold. I've already typed in the search that I want to look for. I want to see how much these things are selling for. I'm going to go to buy it now because bids will be so confusing. So someone bought this for 99 cents, probably shipped it to them in an envelope, no shipping. Here's one that's graded 66. Don't know what it sold for exactly, but it was around the $20-some range. Here's another one for $7.50. Like I said, this is what they're actually worth when you come over here and do it this way. Gives you a little more of a consistent value based off of what the coin looks like. The one in my album looks just like this one, so I can sell it for $5. It's free shipping. Shipping's about $4 because I like to use tracking, so I can't sell it that cheap because I'm not putting them in envelopes. So anyways, hopefully that helped you understand which ones are worth the most. You want a 44 steel cent or an off planchet, and you want to weigh it. Make sure it sticks to a magnet. If you got a copper bronze 44, it's pretty common, worth a few dollars if it's uncirculated. 1943, you want those on copper planchets or an experimental planchet or maybe some type of silver planchet, that kind of thing. You want to weigh it, make sure it doesn't stick to a magnet if it's not steel. But if you have a steel one, it's basically worth, like I said, a few dollars if it's uncirculated. So maybe that'll help clear up some of this confusion. So thanks for watching my latest video. Please like, share, and comment, and have a great day.